Hello, hello. Welcome to another stream. Keyboard Scraps. My name is Sam. It's been a while since I've streamed, actually. But we're back today. We're going to be rebuilding probably my favorite layout keyboard that I have, my Switch Couture Acrylic Alice. Big fan of it. But we're going to be swapping some stuff out. So we're going to be taking out the switches that are here. These are NovelKeys Creams, which I don't have anything against, but I think it's just time for something new in this keyboard. I don't know. I just feel the need to change it. I feel like I have to do something different with it. There's nothing wrong with the creams, and I think I probably will be selling them. But again, that doesn't mean I don't like the creams or I think they're bad by any means. I just think it's time to sell them. So, in its place, some people are gonna scoff at this, but we have some lubed and filmed Cherry MX Browns, which, again, some people will scoff at, which is fine, but I am just a big fan of how they sound. And so we're gonna be throwing them in here, and I already desoldered these because I actually used these in a build, I don't know, a little while ago. And now we're gonna be rocking them again. So let me just drop this real quick. Yep. Actually, we gotta do a little test here real quick. Anyways, so let's just I gotta check to make sure my audio levels are all good. Give me one moment, but we will get started here. We're doing a pretty basic rebuild, nothing too wild. What up, Ivan the homie? How you doing, man? I gotta check to make sure my audio levels. Ooh, all right. Sounds like we're all right. So nothing crazy today. We're just gonna be taking this guy apart. So we're just gonna start where I always start when you rebuild. Just pop off all the all the keycaps. And you got some NovelKeys Creams. These have been pretty popular. Oh, awesome, man. Hello. Oh, Ivan. Oh, you're that Ivan. What up, man? How's it going? We're doing a rebuild of the Acrylic Alice today, which I don't know. It's probably my favorite board that I have. But we're going to be taking out the creams and putting in some browns. Which, again, I think some people might be scoffing at, but I do genuinely like how the browns sound, and I haven't been using this keyboard as much as I would like, so we're going to see if a switch refresh changes any of that. How you liking your creamy yellows? I'd imagine those are pretty nice. I do actually have a cream with a single yellow stem in it in one of my drawers where all my my test switches are. But I'd imagine they're pretty smooth. The creams make for some pretty nice housings. I was gonna actually do a desolder with like live of the brown board, but didn't really want to deal with that because that's I don't know, it was a TKL, so it's not a significant amount more, but it's a good amount more. Yeah, I'd let you know, but I don't know the difference out of my head. For my UMP or UHM WPE switches, I used Gateron Yellow Springs just because they're so easy to come by and so cheap. Plus, I needed housing because the UHMs are just the stem. So I made Melky PE 50Gs. Yeah, pretty nice. I actually have a full build for that coming up too. That's gonna be I got a YMDK 84 or whatever their compact TKL thing is. Yeah. I'll be right back. All right. I found myself using my Gateron brown, or not my Gateron, my cherry brown build by far the most. So we're just gonna put it in my favorite board, see how it goes. That sounds about right. I don't know. I feel like you just have to use them both to. No. Isn't this coming off? Oh, missed a whole row at the top. What do you have in your creams right now? Do you have the yellow springs? I feel like if you don't like 55s, or I feel like if you don't like 50s, in the yellow springs, if you're using the yellow springs, I feel like if you use those, going up to 55 is going to make a huge difference. Got yellow springs and sliders, got it. I mean, the guide yellows are generally considered like fairly good budget options. I really like them. They definitely punch above their weight class. in terms of like quality and everything, or well, typing feel and sound. I'm partial to the milky yellows just because I don't know, I like the weight of them better, I think. Yeah, headphones. I mean, that's a really good deal for $35. Like, you got a really nice Franken switch set up there for really cheap. Like, people sell like 60 sets of holy panda or unholy pandas for like $25. So I would gladly pay $10 more for the parts that you got. Yeah, the cream housings just create for a pretty good stock feeling, I would say. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty safe bet to say if you were to get them lubed, they would be better. But I don't know. At this point, I think that's cheating. Everyone's like, oh, they're pretty good with lube. It's like, well, you're pretty much masking any imperfections that they might have. So, I mean, generally, I'd consider feeling and sounding good stock more of a accomplishment than a switch that's nicely lubed. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You are. Do you have like an end goal with all your experimentation? Are you gonna just keep doing hot swap stuff, or do you have plans for just like a generally like a, I don't know, like entry level high end build or something about those? Ooh, Tata 68. Okay. What do you have in them right now if you're doing a rebuild?
Can't see anymore. If you wanted to, you could see through the little keyhole
though. Yeah, it's tough. Because even if you order like a sample pack, it is very much a different thing to like have a whole keyboard of something and getting the experience of typing on it versus like just having a single key to press. Having the single key to press is like gives you a good idea of what you like in terms of feel. But that's definitely the tough part about the whole custom thing, is finding something that you like and kind of the fear of, you know, investing in 70 switches and finding out you don't like them. The only switch so far that I have really, I don't know, I didn't really like. I like the sound of, but not enough to keep using them, are the Kalebox burnt oranges. Just, I don't know, I think it's the combination of how heavy they were with their shorter actuation. I think those two things combined, just I didn't really enjoy how they felt typing for a long period of time. Other than that, I've kind of lucked out, but I guess a lot of my stuff is pretty safe. Like Holy Pandas are pretty safe. You know, creams are pretty safe. Even like Kale Burgundies are fairly safe too. Sushi Roll, what up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Oh, you think so? I thought the Kale Burgundies are alright. I suppose I actually I haven't messed around with my Unholy Pandas too much. The build's going good, Sushi Roll. We are rebuilding my Alice, my acrylic Alice by Switch Couture. We are rebuilding with browns. Put in some lubed and filmed Cherry Max browns. Taking out the NovelKeys Creams. So we're just doing a desolder run. Let's see how the first row went. Some of these I have to go back and try again. Ooh, the Gateron inks. I actually just swapped some. I actually just picked up some red Gateron inks, which I'm very excited about. Because I got a big old switch tester with like a bunch of different keys. And by far my favorite were red Gateron inks. So, ordered a set. I'm really excited about those. It's like by far the smoothest switch I've felt. Granted, disclaimer, haven't tried the Muaves or whatever, haven't tried alpacas. Both of which I heard are very smooth. Yeah, I tried the black inks. I've actually discovered I don't like the spring weight of most black switches. I think they sound nice, and like I just have found I prefer lighter switches. I really wish the Gateron yellow inks, I wish they weren't like such a drastically different design and different actuation. I'd be interested to hear the reasoning behind that. Because if I had my way, I probably would have gotten Gateron yellow or the yellow inks, but I'm not. After discovering I'm not a fan of shorter actuations. That's a tough sell for me, considering that's what it is. It's, you know, shorter actuations. Hey man, I think everyone's been there. Everyone either started or people still, you know, Die by Clicky. I know my first custom, not my custom, but my first mechanical is blues. Oh, if you still somewhat like clicky switches, I don't know when the build's gonna happen, but I'm doing a Blue Alps build. It's a 60%, but I got it from KPRE Public or whatever, and they're based out of China. So with all the sickness scares and whatnot and the lockdowns that are happening there, I don't know when it's actually gonna make it stateside. Oh, my first keyboard. I think my first might have been a Cooler Master with blues. I don't remember what Cooler Master, and then I upgraded to a Cooler Master with reds, a TKL with reds, and then I got a poker with browns, I want to say. But then my first custom was this guy over here, actually. The first one that I built, at least. Well, it's the first one in general. It's called the Zlant. Big fan of this. I'm on the lookout for more. Big drawback is there's not a lot of them. The company I bought it from, 1UP, just restocked the PCBs, but only the PCBs. And I don't feel like making my own plate. And I'm just going to wait until the kit's out again. Hopefully the kit comes out again. But that was my first custom. Was a Zlant. Yeah, and I built it with Xylent, so it's the Xylent Zlant. It was kind of with the idea that it's a keyboard I can like use in public space or bring it to someone's house, and it's not too disruptive, and overall it's small form factor and just generally sounds pretty quiet. I know some people aren't a fan of tactile or just silent switches in general, but I actually don't mind. Even though I lubed them, you still get a little bit of scratchiness, and I actually don't mind that sound too much. Yeah, here are the Blue Alps switches. I really like how they sound. I think the scrape noise is actually not too bad. I also really like the spring weight in these. But I'm excited for that. That's going to be a really fun build. That is going in a... the business card, though. It's a good one. Man knows his internet memes. But then those keyboards are going in this keyboard bell 3D printed case, which I think goes nicely with the aesthetic because it's called the Cadet, I want to say, and it's modeled after like old style keyboards. you guys have any ideas for what what keycaps would look good with this color? Definitely let me know. Essentially Yours brought up GMK. I think it's Infinihive or Keyhive, or it's the yellow and black set, which would look really nice. But I was mostly looking for like an off-the-shelf set that I could just purchase and throw on here. Because so far I've tried blanks, which I think the blanks were by far my favorite. And then after blanks, I've tried these monstrosities. They're not actually that bad, but they did not look very good on this keyboard. It's just kind of tough to find something that matches this acrylic yellow. And I was gonna put dual shot on it, but then now dual shot's going on my console 60, because console 60 is a PS2 or PS2 homage, and dual shot is a PS1 reference. So I figured those pair perfectly together. So we're definitely doing that, but. Should really invest in one of those powered solder suckers. Yeah, I feel like hot swap isn't a bad option, especially if you're still kind of trying to figure out what switches you like. It just inherently gives you so many more options, right? Your options are limited to what you can buy or what's in stock. Ooh, the NK65. There's I don't remember who. Someone in some server, this keyboard server, which I know is very helpful, apparently got one. And I've seen a few builds and they look really nice, especially for the price. Ooh. Well, oh nice, I'll just pop out. The NK would definitely, I'd say, fit that bill without breaking the bank, because there's definitely some you're pretty ridiculous with some builds, huh? be honest, I'm still figuring everything out. Like I couldn't even tell you really what my end game would look like. Depending on how well the Lynx 50 goes over, I could see myself, and the guy says he has interest in making other Lynx, like a Lynx 75 or whatever. I could see myself really liking a Lynx TKL because I like his aesthetic and the guy's color choices and his design. So I could definitely see myself having an end game that revolves around a Lynx TKL. I could see my I could see myself having, I don't know. I really like TKLs, I like 60s, and I really like 40s. I know that's that's most kinds of keyboards that are commonly found, so I don't really know. I think endgames is a lie. Like everyone says, everyone always memes about. Ooh, splits are something I haven't explored yet. I've definitely like looked into it, but have not explored them. I could definitely see the appeal for sure. I know it's not, everyone's not a fan, but if I was to build a split, it'd probably be a split. I don't know the style, but it's not the, and maybe the iris split if I'm thinking of the right thing. But the split, the ones that look like they are just cut in half, like the ones that are just split down the middle, I like those. Just because if you want it to look like a normal keyboard, you can, but if you want that ergo goodness of having a spread out keyboards and whatnot, you're able to do that. Yeah, just get a short right shift or whatever. Because I mean, personally, I don't ever use right shift in pretty much any situation. Like my buddy, he wants a compact, like one of those compact 96s, but he wants arrow keys, and he wants a full 0. And so the only way to achieve that really is to make your right shift a 1U key, and you shift over the arrow keys 1U, and then you have the ability to put a full, I think it's a 2U 0 key at the bottom underneath your number pad. Yeah, the only time I use the bottom right, I don't think I ever use the bottom right aside from when I need to like change colors of a supported keyboard where you got to do that with the function key or whatever. Yeah, that's the tough part. But that's the price you pay for wanting, you know, wanting very specific things. And like, I mean, that sort of mentality is definitely understandable. Like, that's part of the reason why I didn't stick with ortholinear, even though I definitely, at least I think I saw the benefits, and I enjoyed the layout, and it actually forced me to use like more proper typing fingers. But my mentality was like, there aren't as many cool keyboards coming out in ortho layout, and I don't want to be pigeonholed. Plus, like, you move to a laptop keyboard or a phone or something, like, maybe a phone's a bad example, but a laptop keyboard, or you go anywhere else, you know, ortho is not prevalent anywhere. Yeah, the only keycap set I'm really interested in right now is still debating about copper, GMK copper, and then I did order the pink Lynx 50, and so I definitely am interested in getting Darling, because I think that would go really well. Just do an all-out pink setup. Other than that, the only one that really stuck out to me enough for me to buy was Dual Shot, because I just really like the inspiration being a PlayStation 1. I think that's really cool. You picked up any GMK sets? Taihao is a fantastic source. Pretty quality caps for not $140 or whatever. Oh, and then Cat Eternal, actually, or Cam Eternal? Cat Eternal? Not Cat Eternal. Man, I know Cat Eternal is the thing. I'm thinking about Cam. Oh, I think NovelKeys has it. It is like double legends or something like that. It looks really cool. What? This is a different keyboard. Oh, nice. PPT Miami. Classic. Certified classic. Yeah, the it's still tough to, I mean, it's really tough to justify GMK sets. Because, like, I mean, aside from, I mean, the big factor is people, you know, you have the exclusivity of a GMK set of a various kind, depending on how much is produced, how popular it was, whatever. And they're obviously very nice, but it's hard to justify when there's, you know, keycaps that are also pretty nice looking, pretty nice feeling, pretty nice sounding for half the price, if not less. Did you see was it GMK Boba Fett or whatever, or Star Wars? I don't know. It was like officially licensed, so it was like $300 or something for a set. That was a big nah. Obviously, it was worth it to someone, because I know, right? Teja did a build with it, so someone wanted it enough to pay that price. But to be honest, I didn't even think it looked that good. Just thinking of Star Wars, I think the only really cool color scheme would be like Stormtrooper, but that's just black and white, so it's not super specific. Yeah, I think. Do you want like both sets? Like you want a black on white and a white on black set? Or you want or? Because if you want black on white or black on white, the Teja cubics aren't bad. I think those are actually in stock. Because I know I sent you a link. I think it was you. I sent you a link. But they were out of stock. Could wait to see if black on white and white on black samples or extras are available, but those are GMK sets, so you're gonna be paying quite a bit for those. Yeah, on one hand, you would think something such a simple colorway would be more common and not as expensive, but guess not. Fortunately, I really like blanks. So blanks are, at least in terms of like getting decent quality blanks, they're pretty easy to come by. Yeah, did you want oh, so you want black on white specifically? Or did you want both white and black on white? Because I could see it being kind of cool if you did a split, like on an Alice or even just on a normal 60. I think it'd look pretty cool to have one half be black on white and the other half being white on black. That'd definitely be pretty slick. No, it's too good to be true. Almost went a whole row without having to go back. What up, Ikes? Thanks for stopping by. I'm probably, I don't know, Ikes. I was really close to buying Wilson today. Then I read like a bunch of people's reviews of how broken it is and how broken it's been for so long, and they still haven't fixed stuff. So that makes me a little sad, because I would love a ARPG that, you know, is like Diablo-esque in terms of longevity, but I also get that's tough to come by because Diablo is backed by good old Blizzard. But I might go ahead anyways and do it, because I could definitely see myself getting at least 30 hours of gameplay out of it. Yeah. Because man, I still can't get over how you're playing Wilson on hard mode. What do you mean? Like just straight up a hard mode, or like you're playing the wrong class? But I don't know. I'll probably be saving my $30 for Division.
Yeah, that's a correct choice.
Enchanter is trash. Big sad. No, if I was to get Wilson, it'd probably be like this summer or something. And I could see, cause like I still can't get over how much I enjoyed the melee combat. Something's wrong with how the spells scale and you don't do damage. Damn, so you were just playing on hard mode. That's funny. I remember you complaining like, man, I ran into this boss I just can't beat. You weren't wrong. It was the game that was wrong. Man, whoever gets these creams are going to be pretty happy. Because, man, they sold out in, like, moments. Maybe not moments, I don't know. They sold out pretty quick, though. All right, Ivan. Thanks for stopping by. If I see you again. All right. If not, have a nice night. Enjoy dinner. I'm interested to see. I doubt we'll ever know for sure, but I want to know how much of an effect, like with numbers, how much of an effect that Tfue and Teha build did on the NovelKeys Cream stock, because it sold out quickly after, and it went up for sale, and it was quickly sold out again. That could just mean there's not a lot. But it'd be interesting to see the actual impact of like a collaboration like that. Because people definitely wrote off that as it's not gonna have a big impact because all Tfue's fans are kids. You gotta remember, like, kids have parents with money, and also a lot more people than just kids play Fortnite. So. A lot more people know who Tfue is, and it'd just be interesting to see if it's more so his impact, as he just have so much fan base that it actually legitimately impacted like a large percentage of a stock of an item, being the NovelKeys Creams, or if there's just not a large amount. It could be both right now because of everything happening in China. So I mean, Kale could just be having issues getting creams out the door of their factory. Let me try and get it so this entire row I don't have to go back. We're gonna one shot this one. Maybe not one shot, but Moment of truth coming up. Let's do a double check to verify all of our legs are loose. All right, let's try it. Oh, failed already. Second one in. Oh, so close. Definitely the best row yet, though. Alrighty. Perfect. Well, actually, while this is apart, let's actually give this a nice little wipe down.
It also applies to lead, so I don't need to do that.
That's wild. Gonna get some anchor switches in so they don't just flop out. Trying to get some of this cat hair out of here too. So this PCB actually can support Alp switches, which is cool, but not the plate. I need to get a custom. I would love a Alice with Alps. I'd actually like a linear Alps. I just really like how these Alps sound. They have a nice airiness to them. I don't know if that makes sense, but like the best way I can think of to describe how they feel is they have a nice airiness to them. Yep. But the nice thing is a lot of needs more click. I don't know, man. I guess they're not loud. But I think it has a nice sounding click. You'd want them jades or navies or just greens, I guess. He says somewhat disgustedly. Yeah, you probably wouldn't like the Alps blues. They have a very even stroke throughout it, and it is a very light switch, or at least to me it feels like a very light switch. Oh, this is gonna sound really nice. Very nice sounding. Dang, that's crazy. I've been actually shocking getting the itch to pick up a beater Android phone. So I miss putzing around with Android. I was looking at the Razer phone, to be honest. I feel like that wouldn't be a bad like putzing phone, right? Yeah, this 6T, right? I'd imagine that isn't too expensive at this point. And I actually like it better than the 7 or whatever one has the pop-up camera. I'm actually not a big fan of that. I really like the water drop notch. If you're going to be doing a notch, I definitely think that's the move. The hole punch looks, I think looks not bad, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the aesthetics of the hole punch. I gotta do those last. It's between, I don't actually know. I guess the OnePlus is pretty high up there. I really like the Note line, but I mean, I don't mind Samsung's OS anymore, but I'd rather get something I could like flash and mess around with in that regard. Try and get this solder not as clustered up there so I can actually socket these properly. Ah! Oh, why is this one twisted so much? I don't think it matters. Yeah, that's fair. You know, they've definitely earned their, I don't want to say hatred, but people's dislike of them for all their touch whiz crap. But I definitely think One UI is pretty cool, and a lot of the stuff that I think they're trying to do with Android is pretty cool. It's a bummer that that Pixels aren't better than what they are. What up, Violent Waffles? Ooh. How's it going, Help? I think you're the only person who's going to stop by the stream today that's going to say Goop as my name. How goes the rebuild? I think last I saw you were at like 300 or 400 mil. But I'm glad you didn't stop, man. I don't know. I'm a detective. 605? That's not too bad. That's more than my bank. Have you been just doing a lot of bossing or merching, or I guess everything? I know you've been doing a ton of like Slayer bossing lately. I've seen that. Help, just pretend you're doing a YouTube series. Pretend you're a YouTube or a Twitch meme lord YouTuber, and you're doing a rebuild series. Once you get that T-bow, is your bank gonna reset basically? I know some people, once they get that, it's like, all right, this is what I'm rebuilding off of. I actually went to Bandos the other day. I think it was like 4 or 5 days ago at this point. But then I sold all the gear I bought to do it, and I haven't done it since. Oh shit, I don't remember. I don't remember which... I don't remember which one of these sockets I used. That's tough. Whatever. That's fine. No worries, man. Alright, let me grab... I gotta grab the right lengths, don't I? Shift. Yep, that's this one. Basically, I had issues with this keyboard before with the space bar here not rebounding correctly. So trying to fix that. I'm not actually quite sure what causes the problem. No, this is a personal. This is a personal build. This is one of my, pretty much my favorite keyboard that I've made so far. I'm just rebuilding the choice of switches. Oh, so the layout itself is pretty weird. So these aren't actually shifts; these are both space bars. Like imagine taking this, cutting it in half, putting it at an angle. That's basically this layout. This is called an Alice layout, and so these aren't actually shifts. I just don't have the proper keycap set yet. Like I haven't found one that has smaller space bars that I like enough to buy because they're really expensive. Like this is the only, because it's such a weird color, the yellow, that I think this would look really nice. But for, let's see, what does Mega include? Is this Mega? All right, so I guess this wouldn't be too bad, but it'd be 125 bucks because I need these tiny shifts down here. And a lot of these kits, there's a company called, I think this is GMK. Yeah. Oh. Not GMK, but either way, most of the time, these sets that you buy with like custom colorways, they're expensive. Like most of the time you just get this bottom half. and that's usually $130. So this actually isn't too bad, but I think this would go pretty well with this yellow color. So you can 3D print, but 3D printing keycaps is really tough. And 3D printed keycaps, it'd be even harder to get this two colorway unless you painted them. But it's yeah, all these are like injection molded stuff. But this is kind of the front runner for this setup. I might look into making keys. What do you mean? Like keycaps? So right now I'm just using these to align. So you see, like, I put these in their sockets and they just fall out because there's not actually anything keeping them straight. So I want to get them soldered in as best as possible. What percentage I run on silver? Huh? Oh. I don't know. It's 1.8%, 8mm, 50G. I don't really know much about the situation besides this is what was recommended. So that's what I use.
Every time I make a move, it's like they sweating me. They want another black man in penitentiary. It's even hard for that man standing next to me, cause he could catch a bullet that was really meant for me. It's like every step bring me close to destiny, and every breath I get closer to the death of me. I'm just trying to carry out my own legacy, but the place I call home ain't back.
What the f— oh, I soldered in. Oops. Boo. What are we booing? That I said oops. I accidentally soldered this one in instead of this one. I meant to do this one and this one, but... So like now, boom, there, fine. Okay, shift return. Nah. I fortunately haven't broken anything yet. Knock on wood. Gotta try and find the nicest sounding switch for my backspace. Because I make a lot of mistakes. Or we just try and find all the nice ones for the stabilized keys. Aw. Why does this feel so weird? Let's try a different switch. Do I play games? I do play some games. I normally don't stream them because I'm not particularly notable at any games, Joseph. But as of late, I've been playing a lot of Division 2. Kind of getting back in the swing of things because the expansion's coming out soon. I frequently play RuneScape, Old School, and RS3 as of late. I've been known to dabble in name an MMO, and I've probably at least tried it. I'm not bad, but I'm not great. Why am I so calm? I don't know, I'm not really doing anything too exciting. And I could try and be hyper. But generally I'm not a very wild person. Joseph. Oh, it's Joseph. Is this I don't know who Joseph is. Are you someone I know? Don't know why I'm so calm. Man, I just want this. I don't know why this is acting so weird. The worst thing is getting this all soldered in, and your stabilized switches suck. You have to go back and redo them. That's the worst. So left shift. All right, so let's see what goes here. Tab goes here. Let's make sure we can get tab in the right spot. I think I want the left side. Or no, do I want the right side? There's A. I guess A doesn't really matter. Ooh, thanks for following, Joseph. Tab. Man, what the heck? Is that not tab? No, it's not tab. Oh, I'm a fool. That is enter, isn't it? Let's follow you, me. All right. I'm in for that. No, because this one's tab. This one's enter. No. This one's enter. I'm just having a brain fart. That's caps lock. That's what that is. Where is my caps lock? Because this guy up here, this one is tab. Sleep my ass. Yo, where is my enter key, man? Is this it? Oh no, it's not enter. It's caps lock. Okay, we definitely need the inner one. How about you, Joseph? What games do you play? Or do you play games, I should ask, I guess. Hey, Etsy, how's it going? Or SD13, how you doing? Keyboard looks wrong? Does it look a little droopy or like melted or something? Because I would say is a fair assessment of the situation. We're gonna try something. We're gonna try and swap out these guys, these stabilizers for some other ones. See if this alleviates some of the problems that I'm having. PC specs, I have Ryzen 7 1700X, 16 gigs of RAM, and then GTX 1070 6 gig. It's been a while since I've had to remember any of that, so could be right, could be wrong, uncertain, to be honest, at the top of my head. But I've had the 1070 for a while. It's done pretty good. Ooh, Jay Goods, what's up, man? We're not doing anything new today. We're doing a rebuild of not an old keyboard, but it's one that I've had for a while. Hopefully that helped some of the. Yeah, I think that helped a little bit. Just resetting it there. I think it might have been just seated wrong. This already feels quite a bit better. Alright. Fine with me. Actually, let's get this other guy sorted. Make sure that this one's alright and ready to go. Well, actually, I suppose... Nah, we're fine. Hopefully I don't need this. So we're gonna put that away. And where's the other? This one right here. What up, Chubies? How you been? I've been doing pretty good, man. Just doing a rebuild. Chucking out the creams. Not chucking them, but placing them with some browns. But yeah, it's been doing alright, man. I haven't been able to watch much Twitch lately because I've just been gaming. If I haven't been streaming myself, which it's been a few weeks, but no, it's been going good, man. I got hopefully a Alps build next week. I have the switches. I'm just waiting on everything to ship from overseas, which who knows when that'll be, considering everything that's happening. But what can you do?
Is this really the end? Or is it a new beginning? A new reality? Check it out. So many misconceptions. So many evil deceptions. I've come to give direction. For I am the lifesaver. So many misconceptions. So many evil deceptions. I've come to give direction. For I am the lifesaver. Scooby-Doo why, Scooby-Doo wee. Like a jazz player, I improvise wisely. Free with the sound, I flow like the Nile. But remember, don't mistake the smile. Deep-rooted is my rhyming, like ancient African grills. Precise is my timing. But let me get to the essence of what I'm saying here. Too many blood-red streets with bodies laying there. The systematic fanatics are at it again, trying to kill me and all of us, my friend. But don't bend to the mental stream. Against all odds, we must strive for essential gains. Be true to the life the Lord gave you, and that's a message from the lifesaver. The lifesaver. So many misconceptions, so many evil deceptions. I've come to give direction. For I
And I wish I had a nice looking keycap set for this, to be honest. Because boy, does this not go well together.
takes a more intelligent man to squash a fight than to set one off. Knowledge I'll let some off. Cause nowadays everybody's a killer. And as for me, no other MC is iller. But still a thorn scrapes my heart when I see another life that's been torn apart. Over nonsense, no law, no order. It's evidence that the money only takes precedence. Cause everybody wants power, while the innocent are born or die during every hour. I scour as I look upon evil, but I muster the strength to spark awareness in my people. And we will learn to respect our neighbors. Another message from the lifesaver. The lifesaver. So many misconceptions, so many evil deceptions. I've come to give direction, for I am the lifesaver. So many misconceptions, so many evil deceptions. I've come to give direction, for I am the lifesaver. Talk about the Armageddon, and nowadays everyone you know is packing lead, son. Each day's another test. Hey yo, I better do my
Alright.
best, cause a lot's riding on my chest. So when I lead you to the water, you best know how to swim across
Alright,
the border.
so everything that I want to address, we're good to go. So let's just start soldering down the row. I'll make this a little bit more stable, so we're actually going to put on the number row, which is shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 0. Yep. And I guess we don't actually need 1, 2. We don't need all of them on. Hey, yeah, the Browns are in. Everything's good to go. Full disclosure, left space is linear, mostly because I find linears nicer to game on, and the only time I use the left space bar in the Alice is when I'm playing games. So that one's a C3 Tangerine. Not the latest revision that everyone's raving about, but the old guy. I prefer the aesthetics of this one better, but it's the one with the tangerine stem. Yeah, normally I like all the same key, I guess primarily. I just like lighter keys in general as I've explored more. Yeah. Like I appreciate their like aesthetic attempt at making them look like tangerines. But I really like how the stem looks on the tangerines. On the older ones at least. I'm also biased though cuz tangerines are my first like nicer switch, I guess. It was my first non-mainline cherry or like Gateron switch, so I guess I am biased. But I just that orange, the tangerine colors is so nice. You try more tactiles, yeah. There's some, I don't know. The one fun thing I think about tactiles is there's just such a wide variety of very different tactiles. What ones have you tried so far? Have you tried that? They should have a white stem since they core 5 cents. Okay, that's fair. But also like, maybe if they're going for like a slice of a tangerine, but I feel like having the, because aren't the stems green or are the stems brown? I don't actually remember what a tangerine looks like. I'm fairly confident it has like green leaves on top, right? Like a small orange, dark green. Green stem, green leaves. Yeah. So I feel like what they did was moderately applicable. But either way, the tangerine colored orange, the orangish stem of the older tangerine switches, definitely nicer looking. And that actually hasn't occurred to me. They do look like Sriracha, don't they? Brown red creams and V2 Tangies. Yeah, not a lot of tactiles in there, man. There's a lot of good ones out there. The one that is actually so right here, this keyboard has 60 different switches on it, and down here, my C and my V are both kale purples, I think, of some sort. I think they're just different weights, and I really like these. It has a really like top-heavy tactile bump. Like you rest, and basically any effort you put in, it's like you are resting right at the bump, whereas like browns, you have a little bit of play and then the bump and then it pulls through all the way. But I am really impressed with these browns. Box heavy dark yellows. Aren't those the linears? I think my backspace is a heavy dark yellow, if I remember correctly. I don't actually remember. Yeah, linears. I think my backspace is one of those. How much would you be looking to sell them for? Because I actually really like these. One of my favorite switch on my setup here is my red ink, which I have ordered a full set for a build. 30 shipped. Can't really build a keyboard with 30. Well, I guess how much would you sell them for? Well, what do you mean 30 shipped? I don't really know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm a little tired. Oh, 30 shipped. 60 of them. Okay. That's not bad. Yeah, you're Ivan. You're right. You're on my Discord now. I'll let you know. Because I still have my Unholy Pandas I want to put in a board. I still have some Kale Burgundies I want to put into a build. So I'll let you know. Currently, I'm kind of like purposely pigeonholing myself to switches and builds that I know I can resell, I can off relatively easily. I mean, aside from like my personal builds, obviously, but I try to keep it to, which kind of sucks, but in order to keep what I'm doing right now sustainable, I need to be able to offload my builds sooner than later. That's tough, SD. That's tough. I'm gonna break it up into criteria. I know that's not what you asked. I guess outright favorite. I'd probably say the Alice. I guess the Alice with creams, and then now it's gonna be the Alice with browns. But there's always, this one is always gonna have a special place in my hierarchy because this is the first custom that I made. It's a Xylent inside of a Zlant keyboard with a custom 3D printed case that my buddy made me. Eventually I'm going to get this painted, but I just haven't done it really. But this is my very first like solder job, and I've gone back and rebuilt it since with the same switches, but I did the Zlant with stock Xylents, and I've gone back and I've lubed them all, so they're much nicer now. but that's probably my favorite, just for, I guess, sentimental reasons. My favorite, oh, I don't know. It's tough, man. I really liked my DM87 Brown because it sounded really good. It was only $85, and so like I think it represents a good keyboard for someone looking to experiment in customs who wants to try and solder for themselves, because it's $30 for the TKL kit, which is nutty. I also really see, I'm just rambling now, but I also really like my minivan because I rebuilt the minivan. This is my first rebuild job. I rebuilt the minivan, had browns in it. I put my stockpile of tangerines in here, and this sounds really good, especially with the wood. I also don't have a proper keycap set for this yet either, and I need a new case. This wooden case is falling apart. All of the screw holes in the bottom have like snapped basically, so there's really no way I can get this to stay in. Not that I'm like throwing this about wildly, but I'm really excited for Key Company to bring back minivan this year. That's gonna be very cool. I think once I do it, I think once the Lynx 50 comes out and I build that, that'll be probably my favorite. That's it's a brass plate, 45% or something like that, and it's getting my stock of Holy Pandas. Or my Blue Alps build, I think, might be high up there. It might actually get me to use a clicky switch for an extended period of time. That's gonna be really cool. But then aesthetically, I think my favorite eventually will be I managed to buy the Console 60, and then a couple months earlier I bought into GMK DualShot, which is the PS1 themed key set, and then the Console 60 is a PS2 themed keycap set. Oh, sorry. Console 60 is a PS2 themed case, and the GMK DualShot is a PS1 themed keycap set. And I'm getting red inks, and we're putting it all together. It's gonna look awesome. That one, I probably will sell that one, because I feel like the cross section between people that bought GMK DualShot and people bought GMK DualShot and Console 60 isn't a huge Venn diagram, but I feel like the people that would want to buy it would be pretty big, because there's not a ton of people that bought GMK DualShot and the Console 60, and so like having that set up I think will be really cool, especially with somewhat desirable switches and Gateron red inks I should say. And so that one will probably be my favorite build, just because I kind of lucked out in all facets. Like, I didn't plan it. I bought GMK DualShot, had no idea Console 60 was a thing. I didn't even know if it was announced, and then I saw it, a month ago or whenever it was, and I was like, this is perfect. Because originally DualShot was supposed to go on my Alice, but I saw something that just is going to be infinitely better, so we're going with DualShot on the console. Oh, or this one. Let's see. This guy. On the fence about this one. Because it's just so extra looking. But it looks like you're typing on, like, I don't know, silicone jello or something, especially when it's lit up like this. Ooh. I think my big thing is I just don't know what color I would really want. It'd be cool. I guess I might inquire about color samples if they have any renders or whatever with the different colors. Probably do gray or maybe silver. I think silver would look pretty good. I would then have to get some sort of pretty plain keycaps because I'd want the case to be the main feature. Like I think this setup, I mean, it definitely looks nice, but I think I would personally rather have the case kind of pop a lot more than the keycaps. Whereas this, they kind of share equally. And this is bento, so I think having some sort of much more plainer keycaps, I think would really make this case look nice. I didn't join Moto. Again, it didn't really, like, I understand the appeal, and it definitely is nice looking, but it just didn't pop out to me. And so far, there hasn't been many GMK sets that really stuck out to me. Copper. I'm debating copper. I don't know what I put copper on. I just really like the colorway. If I can ever find GMK Bingsu on Mech Market, I might go in on those. But no, I didn't go in on Moto. Or sorry, Moto Light specifically. Yeah, the only GMK set I'm currently debating, copper probably won't. I probably won't, just because I feel like that's such a tough color to match for a case. I'll probably be doing GMK Darling because I ordered a pink Lynx 50, and I think it'd be fun just to go all out with pink keyboard case, pink keycaps. I think it'd look nice. And just based on how I operate right now in terms of building keyboards and making stuff, just content about them, spending $130 on keycaps is a tough call, because that's like half or a third of a fairly nice $203 keyboard with keycaps, with switches and everything. So like, it's just tough. It's a tough call. It's much easier for me to justify, for $200 I could build a full keyboard. That's like a stream, that's a bunch of content for various platforms, and I get to build a keyboard, which I really enjoy doing. So right now I'm just not really into GMK sets. And then artisans are also in that same vein. Like the only GMK set I've joined is Dual Shot, and I joined that day one. Like the moment I saw it, I'm like, that one, that gray and the meaning behind it and everything, that's the one. Future Funk is really nice. Actually, I lied. Aside from Darling, I am considering the Hive or whatever that key company is selling right now to go on this keyboard specifically. It would look, I think, probably the nicest any keycap set could look on this yellow Alice. The other thing I was debating was trying vinyl wrap this Alice. Yeah, Cat. Some of the Cat stuff is really nice. Cat and Cam. Cam What is it? Sorry, I'm just turning on some extra lighting because the sun has gone down. Oh god, we're falling. Oh, that's bright. So bright. Alright. Wraith, yes. Yes, that one. That's definitely high up there as well. That was one I contemplated. But again, it's one of those things where any keycap set over $100 makes me pause. Oh, I suppose I also have GMK Samurai, but I bought that off eBay. And I just got the 40s kit. So I guess technically I have more than one GMK set. Yeah, I mean, Moto Light is I think that's a good buy just because it's pretty versatile. Not that should be. I mean, you might want that to be a factor in a keyboard or a keycap set, but I can't say I didn't get the hype behind Olivia, but man, was that pretty nuts. I didn't realize. You know, to realize isn't the right word, but it's crazy how popular that was. All right, what's up, Korean Zombie? Appreciate the name. I appreciate a good Korean. All right, let's see. I've never built a keyboard together, but I have one question for that build. Are there stabilized? Are unique to keyboard? Keycaps are neither. Confused what size tabs to get for the build. So, sort of. The DM87 comes with stabilizers. They are plate mount stabilizers. So, like for example, these stabilizers mount to the PCB and they're screw-in. And then there's two kinds of stabilizers that mount to the PCB and it's either screw-in. So on the back there's screws. Or there's clip-ins, which I actually have a clip-in, which is over here. And that is just like the screw-in ones except with a clip. It just snaps in. Yeah, but the DM87 comes... Yeah. So actually, these browns that are in this keyboard actually came from a DM87. So yeah, it comes with these stabilizers right here. The white ones. I replaced with my own black one. But no, they come with stabilizers. So you don't have to worry about... If you're getting the DM87, you don't have to worry about any of that. The other thing that I would say, I don't know how much of your other videos video of my DM87s you saw, but the one quick thing I can recommend is, I don't know all the right terminologies for PCBs and whatnot. And also, hey Keone, I see you. What up? So I had an issue where this, no, what was it? It was this one. This socket wasn't working. And I tried putting different switches. I tried resoldering. What ended up happening is I just kind of followed all the lines. And then there's these hubs right here where there's 4 sockets and it's just a bent pin. It kind of looks like a staple. Like it runs across here. And I'm assuming that continues the connection. And what they did is, all they did was bend the pins around the sockets. And I know you can't see it because my webcam is garbage, but I promise you, there's like these little staples that run through these sockets over here. And I think they just can kind of have shoddy connections. So if you have a dead socket, one of the first things I would suggest doing is following the lines you best you can to the closest one of these sockets. And all I did was I dropped some solder right here on where I thought this socket was connected to. Fixed it. And I had to do that on another one of my DM87 builds as well. But that, I guess that's the only other thing I'd recommend for the DM87. But yeah, no, the DM87 is really cool. I enjoy how it's $30 TKO. Oh, and then if you can, get some case foam. So this is a 1/8 inch thick neoprene from Amazon. And I just roughly cut it out, and I honestly just shoved it down and just kind of put my thumbs on each side of each of these stabilizer supports, and you just pop it through, and it actually does make a difference in terms of sound quality. Well, maybe not sound quality, but in terms of, I don't know the right word, in terms of sound goodness. I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you can. Yep. So, and on that note, one of the things you have to solder together is, so the weird thing about my socket problem, that's why I think it definitely was these little like bent staple like things, was the fact that when I was testing it, I was having issues, and I did like use my tweezers, and I got it to actually like complete and test properly in the testing program I use. And so I think it was just because I was shaking the PCB a little bit that it just happened to connect. But yeah, you definitely can. You do have to solder on this guy, which is what the USB cord plugs into. Actually, it's just 5 little solder points on the back here. You just plug that in to the USB cord, you plug the USB into your computer, and then you can test it like any other PCB. So you definitely can test before, and I would recommend. Because I also have another DM87 where I don't know what they're called, but these little black things right here that is more wiring for the PCB. One of them was chipped, like I could see it was like physically, like part of the plastic was gone. And it just so happened that like one of the sockets that it was clearly connected to doesn't work. So on one of my DM87 builds, I decided to go forward with it anyways because it was whatever. It was a Navy build. My equal sign doesn't work, which is annoying, I guess, but I don't really do math on my desktop, and it was just, I don't know. I just went for it. But I actually am going to order one of those new little bits. I don't know what they're called. I'll have to find out. I haven't ordered. The last thing I ordered from Keyclack were these, I think. If I'm thinking of the right store. Are these Maxkeys, Maxkeys cheap, ouch, SA keycaps. And by recently, this was quite a few months ago. I guess I never said recently, but quite a few months ago. I can try and find them real quick. I might have to do it on my phone. I don't remember which email I used. Oh my gosh, all these drops. Drop emails. I'm gonna search SA Keycaps. That's not it. I guess we'll just search Keyclack. Here it is. 10/31/19 is when I oh no, that's when it was delivered. 10/23/19 is when I ordered. I ordered purple on white, which little upset because these are purple, but they are not nearly as purple as the pictures on the website made it to be. I think they did mention that somewhere in the description, but I was a fool and I didn't. Tegra Phantom TCal so I could test. Nice, awesome, man. I don't know if you're going. You know, thanks for stopping by. If not, what have you liked so far as switches? And a lot of people start with clickies and kind of go from there, but some people start with linears. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I again, I guess my scope is 1 of 1, but I'm really happy with these SA keycaps. They're cheaper than pretty much anywhere else, and took 7 days to ship, so you know, nothing too crazy. But I'll be honest, outside of my experience, I haven't heard anything positive or negative about them. They don't have the variety OneUp does or NovelKeys does, so I just haven't really had much of a need to go back. Hold on, let me just check. I don't wanna. Some modular keyboards have limitations on what hot swap switches they can take. Oh, TechWare's. All right, yeah, these are the guys that made. It's basically a GMMK. All right, so those will take most things. it really depends on how big of a tactile bump you want. Because in terms of like, I don't know if it work. Okay. Well, if you want to take the risk, I guess, and try things. Oh, I guess the Autemu skies are really popular, and those are pretty. They're pretty tactile. So like in terms of tactility, browns are pretty low, I'd say these days. They just don't have much of a bump, like that feeling when you slowly press down, and that resistance you get. It's pretty low compared to what a lot of the stuff's on the market. So if you think you would like something that is more tactile, the Otemu Skies would be up there. But if in terms of like trying out switches, if your keyboard only takes Autemu switches, something that you could do is just get switch testers. I know NovelKeys, 1UP, Flash Cork, all of them sell like variety packs where you can just get a bunch of switches, and granted it's just one, but it's still, you know, kind of a something you can gauge in terms of other switches you've tried. You get a variety of them. So like, I know I already brought this up on the stream, but this keyboard has 60 different switches. So you mean like just going down the row. But I know sound doesn't help you decide on switch. Well, maybe it does. I can type on anything. I really like sound. But the Kale Pro, the Kale Purples are really nice. The Kale Box Burnt Oranges are pretty tactile. The Otemu Skies, Silent Skies. Man, what are these ones called? Oh, the Holy Panda. That one's obviously very popular, very tactile, but that one's a little bit more expensive. But Zombie, if you want, I'm always up to talk switches for sure. So that there should lead you to my Discord. Or if you wanted to message me on Instagram, always willing to talk more. And like just give recommendations on at least my scope of all the switches I've tried as far as tactility goes. Because there's, like, I don't want to hate on browns, right? Like, I'm putting together, browns are some of my favorite feeling switches and sounding switches, but they are by no means very tactile. What are you howling about, cat? Cats where they're just yowling. Sweet, man. That's good to hear. Yeah, the Silent Skies are really nice. Or sorry, not the Silent Skies, the Otemu Skies. I've also dealt with Silent Skies, which are also pretty nice. I'm actually doing a Otemu Sky build probably not next week, but the week after that. So I stream every Thursday at between 4 and 6 p.m. Central, and I actually just ordered a 40% keyboard from Flash Cork, and the switches I'm putting on it are Otemu Skies, actually. I forgot about that. do you think one of my next bigger keyboard purchases aside from the EO87, which I'm still debating about? I really want to try like electrocapacitive stuff, so like Toper or a Toper knockoff. Because you hear so much, you just hear so much. It's like Alps for me. Like I perfectly satisfied with my experience with MX style switches, but you always gotta try. You gotta just keep trying stuff. Now that I've tried Blue Alps, it really makes me want to try non-clicky Alps. But I'd really want to try like a Toper, or I forgot what the other brand is called, but basically the knockoffs. But even the knockoffs, I think they're Plum, Easy Plum, something like that. And I'm gonna be honest, none of them sound great. Like even some of like Teja's stuff, where he has like those ridiculously expensive case swaps that Toper endgame people do. Hard pass on paying that much for that sound. To me, it just doesn't sound great. But I would love to feel it. But the entry point is pretty tough. I've heard you can get used Toper stuff for like 100, 150 if you can get lucky. So I might keep my eye out for that. Like an HHKB, an older one of some sort. Plus, I feel like those have fairly good resellable stuff. Not resellable stuff. They hold their value and are in still enough of a demand, especially if I can find one for a cheap price, I'll definitely be able to sell it for a cheap price without losing too much, or hopefully breaking even. You could always do the old Amazon rent, where you just buy from Amazon and then return it, because they just have return policies where they don't care. Yeah, so with dielectric lube, that's primarily that's for stabilizers. You can use like 205 grade 0, which is a popular lube for linears on stabilizers because it is thick enough of a lube. But a dielectric lube would be way too thick and sticky for switch lube. So basically, the general entry point for stabilizer lube is dielectric grease because of how cheap it is. And the application process to make decent sounding stabilizers is pretty easy in terms of what you have to do. You just stick the stem into the dielectric grease, you push it in further, pull it out slowly, and you twist. At least that's what I do. And then you just put the stabilizers back together, and it's generally pretty solid in terms of dampening that rattle. But I don't know, maybe Ivan can answer, maybe he's done some research, but in terms of my scope of knowledge on all of the different kind of lubricants that people use, because I know that people use some wider range but the popular ones are 3203, 3204, and 205 grade 0. And out of those three, 205 grade 0 can be used on switches or on the stabilizers, whereas the other two would just be not thick enough. From my understanding, I've only tried 205 grade 0 or dielectric grease on stabilizers. 205 grade 0 is much more expensive than dielectric grease, though. Where is my other cable? There's type C. Oh, here it is. Oh, that's one of the, I forgot that was a reason why I haven't been using my my Atlas. I actually currently don't have a nice mini USB. Oh, this is not mini USB. Man, I gotta do some hunting real quick, because the mini USB that I have right now is metal and doesn't actually fit. So let me do some quick that's awkward. I completely forgot about that. All right, well, we're gonna put all this stuff back on, and then sort that out in a second. Yeah, I agree with Ivan, especially if you're a beginner. I am cheating and I am looking up at my screen to see where letters are, because I actually don't know where letters are off the top of my head. GH. This one, M's right here. I'm trying to remember which B I use more, because there is actually two B's mapped on here because of how this keyboard is laid out. I think it's the left one. I should have taken a picture. I guess I do have pictures of this keyboard before. I do have pictures of how I had this keyboard laid out. I guess I can just go look those up. Maybe not videos, but, or not pictures, but videos. So I did have it on the left here. If anything, we'll get a sound test, and I will deal with the USB problem later. QWERTY, RTYUIOP. Phaloop, what's up, my man? It's been a while. I didn't stream last week. Today we've done a rebuild. We rebuilt my Alice with browns. Yeeted the creams out of there. Not that there's anything wrong with the creams, but I was just kind of bored of them, to be honest. And I found myself using my DM87 with my lubed browns in it. I just really like how they sound. I'm a big sound guy, and not that the creams sounded bad, but I just really like how the browns sound. I can't defend myself. I understand the disgust and disdain some people have for browns. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have a good excuse aside from what I just said, to be honest. Still have them. They're hanging out. I might be selling them. Now's a good time to sell them with all the, I'm not going to try and sell them for a profit, but I mean, I can't. They're used. But I'll probably be putting up for grabs up on Mech Market, or I actually have one guy in talks with already, just because of the whole Tfue craze and how much that's affected the cream market. So, and mostly just because how I work as a content creator. I don't have a ton of money, so if I'm not using something, I'm probably gonna sell it and put it towards something else. I don't know how to, like, I think the right word would be chalky. Like, I really like how chalky browns sound. I don't know. They've really grown on me in my time using them. Especially once they were lubed and filmed. They grew on me a ton. So putting them in my favorite keyboard I have, which is my Alice, so you know, I'll use it more. Zombie, that's definitely the move. Definitely the move, man. Just putzing around on... Just get some cheapo... Not cheapo, but get some cheaper keycaps and run with those. Like, it's... I don't think it's worth spending ridiculous amounts of money right off the bat on a GMK set, especially when there are so many solid options for real cheap. Alright, I really do have to find a a cable. Let's see if this one decides to work. I had this keyboard. Yeah, Taihao. They are. I don't know. I don't want to. They make a lot of their own, but then they also do kind of I won't say rip-offs, but they copy trends and provide it for a lot cheaper. So it's definitely a solid option, I'd say. Ooh, it worked. Ooh. All right, let's do a run through. We got one that's not working right. Everything else appears to be good. Control, Alt. This is a function. Okay, this one is working. Did I forget to solder that one? Oh, I did. I forgot a single joint. There we go. Boom. I swear that didn't work. Okay. Wish I had a microfiber cloth. But man, I think vinyl wrapping one of these. I think vinyl wrapping this would be cool. Because I don't regret getting this color. Well, I guess I slightly regret getting this color. I was mostly just I was camping for an acrylic house for quite a while, and I just wasn't able to find one, and this came up, and I was like, oh, okay. So I went in on it, and it's been really tough to find a good-looking keycap set. So if y'all are out there watching still, and you can think of a good keycap set to go on this that isn't a GMK set, I would be greatly... It would be greatly appreciated. Because I've tried blanks. The black blanks probably look the nicest out of all of them that I've tried. The knockoff Dolces were okay, but really after seeing GMK Infinity or not GMK, man, whatever key company's selling right now. Whatever they're selling right now, that I think would look really good on this, the black with yellow text, but I also don't want to spend $135 on it. So that's why I think vinyl wrapping this would be cool. Could vinyl wrap it whatever color I wanted, and then I could wrap it to match keycap set. Oh, I loved it. But it's one of those things, again, going back to how I operate in terms of making content is just too much money. You know, because with that, what was it, like $400? What was that? Something like that? Like I've the Lynx 50, which was 200-ish. The EO 87 is 200 or so. Keyboard Bell Alps builds, a couple hundred, so spending that much on a single keyboard for me is a tough call. And it didn't speak out to me all that much that I had to have it, so if I had a bigger budget, yeah, no doubt. I did really like it. Man, what is it? I just joined a Discord for it. It went up for group buy recently. Shoot, what was it called? Let me look. Oh, the Prime Elise. That one. Ooh, that one's really nice. It's a 40% Elise, or sorry, 40% Alice. I really like that. Just look at it. Look how nice it looks. And I'm a big 40% guy, but I already got a 40% on the way. Can't really justify it. There's been a few other 40% Alice's, but that one and the Gothic, I think it's the Gothic something. That one was really nice too. I think that one's a couple hundred, if I remember correctly, but still on the fence, because right now I'm in the position I either get the Prime Elise or I get the EO87. And out of the two, the EO87 definitely it's just so much more cooler, I think. Like I don't know. I think the design, that's Sammy. Hey Sammy, come here. Say hi. Oh. Alright, you gotta get off. There's too many little shards of metal. No, I've only saw that mentioned on Reddit once. So I don't actually know anything about them. Nope. No. No room for you. Yeah, like the sherbet. I have a single sherbet somewhere in this pile of switches. I don't remember where it is, but no, yeah, the sherbets. What a strange. It's a weird switch. It's a weird clicky. Like I haven't. Oh my god! Fine, go. Do they have a tact? Oh, they do. They do have a tactile in their Kale Heavies or whatever. The Kale Box X NovelKeys. All right. one moment. I'm gonna go get a paper towel, and then we'll do the typing test. Yeah, the sherbets are definitely a weird switch. Yeah, the only thing I've really heard about them is I've seen them been mentioned a few times on Reddit, and I think in a few Discords, but nothing in terms of what they are or anything like that. I really hope they're blue. Like, I'd be upset if they're named blueberries and they're not blue. Have to do some vacuuming, actually. Wait, knock it off. You can't come up here. There's no space, kitty. Yeah, the white on blacks would be pretty nice. I think it's a nice looking setup. No, it's not plugged in. Ooh. I mean, you did say you are happy with. You did say you're happy with your stock creams, so I would say the keycaps. Like, just upgrade what you're least happy with at a time, right? Oh, it's been a while since I've used this. I've been using my DM87 with these browns for a while. So you come up here and then you immediately leave. See, I don't think people are gonna think these sound extraordinary by any means. I would say they're pretty generic sounding. Oh my gosh. Oh. Ooh, oh, all right, I gotta finish one of these, come on. Ugh. Big nah. Let's try 10 fast fingers. Ooh, can't even get 120 right now. Oh, this is just brutal. Here, let's try it with let's try it with this guy. So this is just a standard 60%, but has every switch is a different switch. Oh my gosh, that feels weird. Ooh, I'm just not doing well tonight. All right, Ivan, thank you for stopping in and chatting, man. I'm glad you were able to see through everything, see it through, and watch. Came back after dinner and everything. Ah, whatever. No, I gotta break 120. Oh no. Tough. Tough, dude. Alright, I'll go maybe try and boost my, boost my confidence on this guy. All right. There. We ended with a more than 120. Granted, we switched to have much less words and cheesed it a little bit. But, you know. Alrighty. Well, that's been it, boys and girls. Thank you so much for stopping through. Here's my Discord. Here's links to all my social medias. Be great if you could stop by and check them out. Korean Zombie, thank you so much for swinging through, man. I see that you followed a while ago, 6 days ago. I don't think I was streaming then, so I appreciate the follow. And thanks for stopping in when we were live. It's been real, boys. Hey. All right. Adios, friends.